Alright, town retards, let's see if this actually starts recording. It'd be a goddamn miracle if it did. This is the first time live from the bunker in the parking lot of Mogadishu Downs.
Dun, dun, dun.
The one and only Free Man Podcast. And I must present to you, first time in color, the Technicolor Nightmare himself.
Hi.
The military special of vodkas. We have the one and only General Patrick Flynn.
Hello, hello.
And of course the man with the mustache. The one and only
Free Man Podcast.
Matt Freeman. Chief Shithill.
Master Chief.
Master Chief.
Oh, tell me you know that reference.
No, hold on, don't. Video game?
Yes.
Not okay.
Come on.
It's not Skyrim.
It's the name of a Machine Head song.
It's not Skyrim. It's not Doom. It's keep going.
It's the name of the machine of a Machine Head song. That should help.
Metal Gear Solid.
Nope.
No.
Oh, you're right there. You're right there. Do I gotta do it?
Yeah.
Halo.
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 The town retards.
I'm gonna have to listen to the Steve Vai theme of that now.
Eric Johnson clips it over. The one that I'm always crowing about to everybody.
New show. Oh wait, I know that name, Eric Johnson. Are we? Eric Johnson. No, I'm thinking of Jason Becker. Cause he was an insanely good guitarist, and something happened with his hands, or I don't know if if it was a degenerative kind of disease or what happened, but he can no longer play. And this guy, he was one of those neoclassical guys, like in the vein
like
of
Malmsteen.
That was exactly where I was going. It's like in the vein of Ingwe Malmsteen, just without the ego.
Yeah, like people could stand to perform with him.
Right. At least from what I hear, Jason Becker didn't have that much of an ego. I can't say, firsthand because I've never met the guy, but he was an insanely good guitarist. I think there's like a Symphony of Destruction, Jason Becker. No, Symphony of Destruction is Megadeth, but there is a song, a Symphony of something with Jason Becker in it. It's freaking amazing.
You take a mortal man
and put him in control. Watch him become a god. Watch people's heads roll. Roll. Wow!
Just like the Pied Piper led rats through the streets, dance like a marionette. Symphony of Destruction.
You forgot swinging to the symphony.
This is William Shatner. Oh man, watching the two clowns here, like I'm really hoping this works. It's like, hey guys, if this actually does work, this will be like the first video put out.
Yeah, basically what we're trying to tell you is, this is just an experiment. Good luck.
Because somebody actually gave me this tip who does they do live streaming.
Gave you the tip?
Just the tip. They actually do live streaming, and they're the ones who told me about all this equipment. We're like, R&D this, and I'm like, right,
rip off and duplicate,
yeah. And I was like, one day we'll have a live streaming. It'll be like, all our haters, all the.
You do realize if we do a live stream and we have that going, we will then have to create a Facebook fan page.
We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Like throwing shit live. This doesn't make any goddamn sense. We'll do it live. And you're like,
Sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, as always, the current events round table here. Fun, entertaining events live from the
At least we're trying to be.
my luxurious bunker located in.
They have video now. I don't know if luxurious is the right word because they can see.
It's live from the bunker in Mogadishu Downs. I mean, I said it's luxurious, man.
Okay.
I have my private army out there beating wholesale ass so I can have this freaking podcast.
Makes sense.
Look at it, man. 1080p, Bo.
1080p, motherfucker!
Thug life. I'm like, what's that mustache? Fucktard.
It has its own reality. The mustache.
Anyway, folks, in the main vein there, whatever. Insert tip joke. Hey, if you don't like it, if you look over my shoulder here, there's a compressed air cylinder that I'm just waiting to launch. Find where you live. Somalians don't play. Look, Somalian Libertarians, man, we don't play. Speaking of not playing, hey, let's look at some news articles. Current events.
Well, semi-current. How about that?
Yeah, we had to stretch these out because we had one of the rival marauding bands of militia members took over the Mogadishu Downs, and we didn't have any horse racing or no Cristal or anything, and General Flynn had
Cristal, but bitches do.
General Flynn had to go and regulate. He's like, I'm gonna lay out. It was like there's bodies all over the parking lot,
hey,
man.
You're paying me for this shit. I may as well.
I know. I mean, like, and you're like, I don't pay for body disposal. I pay for like wholesale ass kicking. So, I mean,
then you got your money's worth.
Yeah, and I'm like,
ding.
Fucktards. Anyway, one of the articles we're looking at was the socialism scam.
Socialism's a scam?
No, it's not. It's just not the right kind of socialism. No, I'm just kidding. Have you ever heard that one? Well, that's not real socialism. You guys haven't tried real socialism yet. It's like, of course, I would say the same thing about, you people who are like, you haven't tried real libertarianism because the only real libertarians are in Somalia. That's why we moved there.
Makes sense.
I mean, we got it better than you guys do.
Makes perfect sense now.
I said you guys should move here.
I completely understand why I moved now.
I mean, look, you'll end up with a mustache like mine.
Dear God.
It's like, look life. Anyway, folks, moving on. Socialism Scam by Peter Diekmeyer. There's no C in there. Diekmeyer.
Right there, man. Right there.
From the Sprott Money News, and that was actually Zero Hedge covered this on September the 4th of 2018. More or less, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we actually had a really funny name for her, like Occasionally-Cortez or Occasionally-Cortisone or whatever. Occasionally friend-zoned or whatever.
Like I said, first politician I would actually do. Because she's cute.
She's got the eyeballs, man.
Man, she does, but still. Like I was talking earlier before the cameras on, she looks part Latin and crazy eyeballs. I'm throwing eye poppy in there, I'm done.
She's going to stab you in your sleep.
Probably.
Like, the quality of a woman is congruent. See, it's almost, there's like, it's kind of like betting on the stock market. You got to get out at the right time. You're like, man, she wants me to meet her family. I said, man, that's too late, man. She's going to stab you in your sleep, dude. You're about 3 months away. So somebody else's kids will be sleeping in your house. You'll never lock your doors again. Oh, well, that's my cousin. My cousin has a kid, and they're like, all the little kids, you can't even watch TV or nothing like that. You're like, man, dadgummit. You had 3 months. So she wanted you to meet your family. Cut her off, man. Cut her off. So no. All right. Occasionally, cortisone, recent win of the Democratic Party's nomination in New York's 14th Congressional District has given America's socialist a breath of fresh air. This is a stretch, guys, but they call her telegenic. But she's an ex-waitress who lives in a one-bedroom Bronx apartment. Defeated Joseph Crowley, who apparently is a pretty dope guy, 20-year incumbent and one of the party's most powerful members. This is some ass-kissing stuff. This is given particular hope to American youth. Polls suggest that millennials, like generations of youth before them, broadly support a socialist agenda. Bullshit, they like free shit. They like crazy women with big eyes.
I started to say, isn't that kind of the same thing, free shit?
Somebody say that Stormy Daniels is running for mayor of L.A.?
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Just
kidding. Believe in Jesus. There's a T-shirt that says, there's a T-shirt that says, on the back of this shirt is a picture of two people fucking. And then you look at the back and there's a picture of Jesus that says, just kidding. Believe in Jesus.
There is, you talk about Stormy Daniels got elected governor as a joke, but Australia, I believe Australia actually elected for mayor in one of their counties or state, or I don't know, province, whatever you want to call it. Jodie Moore is a mayor, or at least was a mayor in Australia, and she is an ex-porn star. Do you know Jodie Moore? I will have to show you some Jodie Moore.
All right.
Holy shit,
all
that
right,
woman.
folks.
She falls under the category of 90s hot.
She had a blonde tussle.
She really did.
That's actually just a stab in the dark. She didn't have a clue. Speaking of stabs in the dark, making government big again. Her unlikely win, that's Occasionally-Cortisol, unlikely win, comes on the heels of growing momentum socialist movement. They talk about Bernie almost winning the Democratic Party's primary. Of course, she supported it, including universal medical care, tuition, $15 an hour minimum wage, blah, 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 blah. No concept of economics. They said, indeed, even Republicans are moving to the left.
Oh, man. It's probably talking about the economics thing. Jason Stapleton pretty much kind of ripped a new one on her about the economics thing.
The overhand grip, you see that?
That looks so wrong from my perspective. I mean, it's
just go. Look at this dopey look, like over. You're like, this is sick. This is a sick crap y'all do in your stupid ass podcast. Oh man. Oh, God. Anyway, we're talking about Anyway, they're talking about like even Republicans are moving to the left. It's like. The nominally conservative Trump administration increased public spending, deficit taxes, imported goods, blah, 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 blah. And they talked about normally conservative, I just said that, blah, 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 blah. Lies my teacher told me.
There were a lot of those, actually.
Yeah. Like, college is a good idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like it could have just...
$32,000 later, I'm
should have just gambled $32,000.
Yeah, I was trying to say $32,000 later, I'm still paying that shit off.
The thing is, I owe the government. If I borrow the money from the government, and people would come after me. But the funny thing is, if I gambled it, I could just like fake my death and they never come after me.
True.
I just file for bankruptcy.
That fucking student loan, man, it follows you worse than a fucking...
Than gambling debts.
Yeah. I mean, you never get rid of it. You never get rid of it.
Like
you can't write it off.
Get a $32,000 credit at a it's a local. No, not the local. It's Caesar's Palace, man. I'm not even an advertiser for them. If they want to sponsor us, it'd be even better. But I mean, this is real ass clownery. Just I could have gambled it and got the debt is easier to deal with than student loan debt. Yeah. And you're like, so what have you been doing? I gambled $32,000 away and just had a blast doing it. Spent I lived in like a hovel and spent like all my money on like horse races or something, or baccarat.
Baccarat? What?
Baccarat.
What the fuck is baccarat?
It's like scoring an 8 or a 9. Face cards aren't worth anything, and like you flip cards over and you have to get 8 or 9.
Almost like you remember.
Then you bet. You can bet tie. You can bet tie, you can bet win, or whatever. There's 3 different
So
bets.
it's an adult Egyptian rat screw with money. Did you ever play that game? You're looking pretty vague, but you're nodding your head yes.
Yes, I have, probably.
Probably. Oh, tell me the game. 9, 8, 7, 6.
Screw it.
Denied. Okay.
Whatever.
Egyptian rat screw. You take the a deck. Of course, you shuffle the cards like one always does. Then you divide the deck completely in half. Then you flip the cards over, and then whenever a double appears, it could be a double number, it could be a double face. It doesn't matter. If you got like 2 9s of the same color and they hit, you slap it down. Whoever puts their hand on it first gets those 2 cards. And you repeat the process over and over until all the deck is in your hand. That is Egyptian rat screw.
Not quite. You bet. There's 3 different ways to bet.
And I think there was like for each face, you like if you threw down a king, then that meant you had like 3 or 4 cards to lay down.
Here's the thing: you bet house, you can bet you, or you bet tie. And house is worth less than yours. The pallet's less than yours.
Dr. Hugh Lowry.
Let's see, the house is the house, Dr. House. House is actually pays out less. It's kind of like their tax. Yours, I don't say it was 2 to 1, but a tie is like 8 to 1 or 5 to 1 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, face cards aren't worth anything, and I think numbers are. You only get I think you only get 2 or 3 cards or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to get. I think you're looking for 8 or 9 or something like that. And the thing is, you'll look and pull them up, and you bet. Which one, and it's usually slanted toward the house, but you're playing continuously. But most of the places you see don't play penny any stuff, and they play big time money. Like I saw these Chinese guys that were like pulling house credit, like $25,000 house credit, just.
Damn.
And I think they pass the shoe, like the dealer, like in certain games. I think they pass the shoe. So the dealer changes, and even customers get to deal. It's kind of like a tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how they do it, but I think that's the bigger games. But it's kind of a fuck around. But anyway, oh Lord,
Rambo.
Yeah. They were talking about bad news for Americans. Youth have been badly misinformed about socialism by unionized teachers and government-financed schools. Increasing size of the public sector beyond a certain point makes everyone poor. They saw this in dramatic fashion after the fall of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union.
The KGB used to be.
When or the FSB. When all of the country's bullish economic data turned out to be false. Because everybody loves when you fudge your numbers, everybody thinks you're a hero.
Sounds like the government.
Just hoo-ha!
Hoo-ha! Oh, mama.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I'm pretty.
Secondly, there are strong signs that the American government has been growing faster than the economy for more than 3 decades. Free currency market would have checked government spending when accruals are included, now exceeds 60% of the U.S. economy. Since the abolishment of the gold standard, governments, through a variety of mechanisms, can print whatever money they need. That's fractional reserve banking, by the way.
Unfortunately.
Thus, thirdly, the resulting lack of a stable unit of account makes it almost impossible for observers to measure just how bad the situation is. I've said that too, because they can't determine how money is actually worth. The basket of goods is a shifting goalpost, by the way. That's not in the article. That's me. You know,
Basket of goods sounds like a porn.
basket of goods. Well, they call it a bag, like a collection of things you could buy. How about that? You're like, thanks. Basket of bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Wow, wow, wow.
Peter Steele and said, not Peter,
Lexington
Steele. And
Peter North.
Peter North and Mr. Marcus and a basket of goods. Oh, mercy. They talked about younger Americans who don't vote in large numbers and have few inside connections appear particularly ill-suited to succeed in a socialist state. This is due in part to socialism's very nature, which rewards special interest collectives who pressure governments for funding, the creation of jobs with above-market wages, and legislation which enables favored professions to extract rents. It's rents in quotations.
Is that your Nixon impersonation?
I'm not a crook. Unlike free markets, which rely on voluntary exchanges, governments thrive on coercion, ultimately at gunpoint. In that sense, taxes are, to a large degree, theft. Theft. You have to more gravel. Theft. Using government to steal from each other has thus become America's largest economic activity.
This is true.
Every last word has to be over-exaggerated. The next heading is a pernicious effect on the national character. I was like, that's like a Civil War documentary. Not like it's like a third-tier Civil War documentary. It was like,
are your hands tied?
The spirit of America has failed once again. And they were like, General Stoneballs Jenkins. This leads to a fourth result of socialism, which is hardly studied at all, its pernicious effect on the national character. That didn't matter so much a century ago, when communism was first implemented. Back then, most people were unskilled workers or farmers who could be muscled around. But in an information economy, in which many workers know more about their jobs than their bosses, this is highly dangerous.
That's true. That's true.
Policymakers have yet realized that this isn't a good idea to steal half of their doctor's salaries. Stealing half the salary of your accountant, the guy who sets your economic policy, or the scientist who even better, he advises you about climate policy, isn't too smart either. Of course, the children come last. Socialism thus leaves American youth at a severe disadvantage, because income distribution only works if your special interest group can steal more than others than they steal from you. Stealing is not good. For example,
stealing is bad, okay?
For example, if you vote to tax businesses, but those businesses raise prices by a higher amount, you may be worse off. The trouble is that when government taxes revenues, taxes Texas even better. That the revenues and taxes are big. But when government tax revenues are divvied up among special interest, kids come last. Screw kids. Older Americans get the lucrative government jobs. They then implement seniority laws and credentialism requirements to keep others out. Moving goalposts, people. Moving goalpost. I'm the one who created a moving goalpost. I'm the one who created the Libertarian podcast system. I'm the one that moves the goalpost. I come knock on your door at night. It's me. You're the one scared. It's not me. Just because I wander the night. Anyway, government spending, much of which is financed by borrowing, also disproportionately benefits seniors. Kids get stuck with debts.
This is true.
Kids. That's why I had 6 of them, so they pay my stogie bill. I run up.
Stogie bill.
I went to a casino, Indian casino, and I run up debts. I told my kids, you better go and hit every damn lawn you can to pay off my goddamn debts. I don't make any money at podcasting. Keeps the government away. And I told General Flynn here. I said, you can't run a podcast without a goddamn horseshoe mustache. They're laughing at you. That's why I had to hire him.
Hey, your money went to good use. What can I say?
This world's shit. Alright, folks, I'm just fucking with you. It was like, is American youth being scammed? Yeah, of course they are.
Yes.
Sharing society, socialism is supposed to foster. They'll question their teachers and consider sentiment. Famously misattributed Winston Churchill. If you aren't a socialist at 20, you have no heart. But if you're a socialist at 40, you have no brain.
Boom!
Do-do-do.
Walk off!
Do-do-do.
Da-na-na. Da-na-na-na.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking John Cena, God.
Reason.
I hate the character, but I can't say nothing about the man. He's got a hell of a work ethic.
Well, he also visits, he's been to, I think 20 different times he's been to, like, the
He's
Children's Hospital.
Yeah, he's got, like, a record for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
He's like Children's Hospital thug.
Like I said,
right?
I can't, I hate the John Cena character, but I can't say a damn thing about the person that plays that character.
Like, he doesn't almost like, screw going to the gym, I'm going to the Children's Hospital.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. He's like, imagine they're like, sir, you can't go in there. Starts kicking ass. He's like, you better let me in that Children's Hospital. I got kids to entertain.
Pretty much.
He kicked guy in the gut and, like, kicked some cop in the gut. Like, you can't see me.
Do his 5 moves of doom.
Can't see me, let me through, huh? Said he's scared of me because he has no mustache. No, I'm just kidding.
Shit.
He's gonna bust through this door.
His bicep.
Is that what you're talking about?
His bicep is almost as big as my head.
He doesn't have a mustache though. Not like mine. There's only one person that has a mustache on mine. Is Paul.
Nacho Libre is who it is.
Paul. The guy's name is Paul. Not Paul Beal.
Paul Orndorff?
No. No. Alright, Reason.com, and this was, I think, September the 4th. What Trump's court pick means for liberty. It was John Stossel. John Stossel. Folks, Ernie will not be joining us. He says he's camera shy, so.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God, gosh.
There goes your damn raise.
Yeah. And he was like, I wanted to tell you guys, our fake sponsors, Flynn Co., where you need to get groceries from.
That reminds me, we need to get some more commercials available for that shit. Gotta plug my product, man.
We got shit you need to get
at Flynn Co.
At Flynn Co.
Get your shit at Flynn Co. There's the slogan. Get your shit.
Like we haven't like waxed the floors in years. Just like, if you want it clean, you go to Publix. I haven't had a soccer mom in here in years.
Oh,
Flynco has a money laundering front. That's why we have. I think money laundering front. You'd probably have the cleanest floors, wouldn't you?
Probably. Got to keep the attention elsewhere.
All right, what Trump's court pick means for liberty? Pings for liberty?
Pings.
Judge Kavanaugh.
The luscious pina.
Will mostly advance freedom, says Cato's Ilya Shapiro. Let me see. John Stossel and Maxim Lott. Hearings begin today for Trump's him too. Trump's Supreme Court pick, Brett Kavanaugh. John Stossel wonders whether Kavanaugh will be good for liberty. Libertines have a right to worry. Kavanaugh showing deference to government when it spies on people.
Liberty, liberty, liberty.
When it spies on people.
Oh.
Brett Kavanaugh wants to spy on you.
Well, hell, everybody else is. What's one more person?
He's peeping in your windows as we speak. You're
What?
like, that's the worst thing. It's like a homily from church.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've ever, like, that's Lutherans and Catholics. I don't know if you've ever been to a Lutheran Catholic.
Lutheran, no. Catholic, yes. But it's been a long-ass time.
Brett Kavanaugh peeps in your windows. That's not true, but
Yeah.
You know, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. They're like, this guy's being accused of some really bad things, and like you're like spreading these rumors. He's like a window peeper. It's like somewhere outside of my summer house here in North Alabama is Brett Kavanaugh. What's going on here? Like under the table. You can't see what's going on. Like
Stroking your moking. Jacking your junk.
Like in a trench coat, like I don't look right. I'm overdressed. I'm in a trench coat. Summertime. How are you supposed to be a pervert in summertime without a trench coat? Like during the winter, you're like, man, you got to fly and everything. You're like unzip your fly. Like,
Yeah.
you get caught. You're running around with your junk flapping around. Like if you're in a trench coat, just run with your trench coat.
It helps. The trench coat does help. Especially if you get it lined and then double layered.
Like in the winter, I mean, yeah, that's. Oh, and the trick pockets, the ones.
Yeah.
There's a pocket, and then there's like the access behind the pocket.
Yeah, especially when you.
I had a raincoat like that. It was hilarious.
So get it made where you got the pocket, but then you got another pocket that goes behind the pocket.
I have one of those.
And you get down into there, and
you're like, he's no pervert. His hand's in his pocket. You're like, what you don't see is just going behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. Anyway, outside of Brett Kavanaugh and his need for
his need
for trick pockets. Oh, like really accusing this poor bastard. All right.
Well, I will say this. I do think it's wrong that they're accusing the guy when he hasn't been proven guilty of anything yet. I will say that.
Well, he talked about his metadata collection. We talked about
metadata.
Metadata.
We take your personal info and store it on a server.
Yeah, and like basically saying that the government and their findings is about in the Court of Appeals. They talk about striking down regulations. There's some good things. I think Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, like where like animals, like the Consumer Protection Bureau, where they hide like stuff for like victims. No, it doesn't exist.
Moving on before I dig a hole.
Yeah, dig a hole. Dig it wide. Dig it.
Drag me underneath.
I'm trying to think. Oh Lord, what else?
LD50.
They talk about he's going to try and overturn Kelo versus City of New London. That's an eminent domain thing where they basically took this person's house. It was a $300,000 house and gave him $30,000 for it and said tough shit.
What?
So they could build a mall or something.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was real.
Damn.
And the thing is that it's garbage. They said Kavanaugh's good on gun rights. Of course, I've heard that. He said, citing Second Amendment, try to overturn a D.C. ban on semi-auto rifles. The left fears at Kavanaugh mostly for other reasons. Christian Gillibrand, one of my favorites. What's at stake is the freedom for LGBTQ Americans for equal rights for civil rights. Because Brett Kavanaugh, along with Donald Trump, will personally ride around in the paddy wagons and collect gays and trans people and take them to concentration camps themselves. Which is, no, it's bullshit. But
yeah.
You're like, that's the worst I've ever heard. You're like,
no, it's not the worst I've ever heard. Because remember who you're dealing with. But anyway.
Yeah.
Your humor's not funny. Because these are people, they're victims. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand. They might be people, but they're not victims.
Kavanaugh is not like the one, he's not like driving the bus and like Donald Trump's out there with nets grabbing like, come on! He's handcuffing them and shoving them in the back or something.
That's a funny mental image though, I will give you that.
Come on, guys.
Thought you said Ernie wasn't showing up.
They had him on the bus. He just got caught. Dragnet.
That's our Ernie.
They're like, get out of the windows. They're like, what do we do with this guy? He's not L. He's not G. He's not B. He's not T. He's not Q. He's not A. He's not A. Like the other A. He's like, what do we do? He's not a plus sign either. What do we have left? Is he like non-binary? No. He's just a pervert. Throw him in there. So it's LGBTQIAP.
God dang
P
it,
for
Ernie.
pervert.
Which, speaking of, did you hear recently where Bert and Ernie were actually confirmed that those characters were actually written to be gay?
I just thought they were puppets. Just like
Gay
dumb-
puppets.
I never thought they were good. They're just stupid ass.
Not just puppets, but gay
They're
puppets.
just stupid. They're just stupid puppets. They're just, you know.
Not that there's any. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that
I don't
there's
think they
anything
were
wrong with
They
being-
weren't. They
being
weren't
gay. Don't
sexual.
get me wrong there.
or anything. They're just two guys. I mean, that.
But I'm just saying,
You act like
it
two
came out
grown-ass
that
puppets
the
can't
guy
live together.
the guy that actually was behind Bert and Ernie, that was the deal. It was supposed to be for to kind of mirror what was going on with him at the time. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it's bad. Whatever you do, you do. As long as you don't hurt people or take other people's stuff, I really don't care. But I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. I just thought they were like dumb puppets and stuff. I just.
But that's all of Sesame Street. Come on. But we all loved it growing up. Tell me you didn't
Snuffle of it.
Tell me you didn't
Oscar
like
the
Big
Grouch.
Bird, bitch.
I don't think Oscar the Grouch was actually that angry. He was just kind of gruff, but he wasn't angry.
Yeah, but tell
Actually, I
me.
thought he was real.
You
I thought he
didn't
was,
like. Yeah, you liked that shit, didn't you?
Of course I did.
Did he? I told you, bitch.
There might have been a couple characters I didn't like, but I mean, most of them were pretty dope.
Bird. The Count.
Oh, Count was a freaking bomb.
The Cow.
He was the original accountant. You know?
Exactly.
One.
Ah.
Like, how did he ever get
Two.
anything done?
Ah.
How did he ever get anything done? Like,
No idea, man. And don't forget, Cookie Monster.
one.
Two.
And wearing the freaking collar.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you're like, you think he's out like killing people, sucking their blood? Nah, he just was a cow of shit.
And his cousin, Count Chocula. You know them bitches were related. You know them bitches were
He's like,
related.
man, it's a family affair. He's like, I work for him. You're like, don't suck on my blood. No. We eat cereal, man. I don't. We're not freaking real vampires. Just freaking count. I get paid. I'm the CFO, Chief Financial Officer of a company, man. I deal with numbers all the time.
I can see it.
Oh, they talked about racial preferences in universities, dealing with diversity. They talked about libertarians being happy with him overall. He's not going to agree with us all the time, but no judges or justices do.
This last article was for you, really.
Don't homeschool your kids.
Because
Homeschool
I
them.
thought since it's kind of your territory,
I've actually heard of this before.
I thought you would be able to give a little bit more insight on it, baby.
Oh God, hold on, don't tell me. God, the wrestler, Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes, baby. You gotta put the lisp in there, though. If you don't have the lisp, I'm telling you, you can't do it right without the lisp.
Gold Dust.
That
24
was
karat.
his son.
Uh-huh.
Now that was his son.
He had a guy fill in for him sometimes, and it
But
wasn't even the real guy.
To tell you the truth, when it comes to his son now, I do feel that he was better off when he was Dustin Rhodes.
Was it the 24 Karat Productions present?
Yeah, that
24
was,
Karat
that was
Productions
the Gold
present.
Dust character. Oh man, him and Piper, he had a thing with Piper back in the day, and it was just...
Who was the blonde
Given
chick?
his time, hold on.
Yeah.
Given his time, he was like ahead of his time. If he had put that shit in, like, Now, I think it would have been a little bit
The
better.
freaking wig and the freaking coat.
The
yeah.
blonde chick you're referring to, her name is Terry Runnels.
Oh, Terry.
She
yeah.
was known as Marlena. It might have been Merlena,
yeah,
but it was
yeah.
Marlena.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
Speaking of, it's like, speaking of,
And for her age, she still looks good. I'm serious. For her age, she still looks damn
freaking
good.
house coat and the freaking wig.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
24 karat broken dreams.
No, Shattered Dreams.
Shattered Dreams.
It was
production.
Shattered Dreams
24
Productions.
karat presents or whatever.
Yeah.
I love that, man. As I like blow the smoke or blow the dust and it blocks your view like that. Like,
Yeah.
there we go. Got it. Third time's a charm.
Woo!
Don't homeschool your kids. Unschool them. Homeschoolers are increasingly
No more Shatner for you tonight.
Yeah. Homeschoolers are increasingly ridding themselves not just of schools, but of traditional notions about schooling. That was Carrie McDonald from October 2018 issue. That was the digital edition, Reason.com. It says don't homeschool your kids. Many families talked about leaving educational institutions because it's all about freedom and creativity, which is a problem. I also understand. But too many end up winding up in the same system at home. They import same packaged curriculum and testing, gold stars, check marks, coercion and control, inherent in these, like, pause,
burp, and go.
I got one speed. Go. Oh man. Anyway, that's I forgot who that was. Old Carlos Estevez, Charlie Sheen.
Carlos.
That's his real name, Carlos.
Really?
Chucky Danger, yeah, or Carlos Danger.
Better.
Carlos Estevez.
Before we sidetrack down that rabbit hole, you better get on.
Just dive, just go for it.
Dive in the goddamn hole. Get in that hole, son, said every man on the planet. Friday night as the bar closes.
Nice. Oh, they talk about deterring originality, obedience, and conformity. Oh. No. That's what was it? The worm,
Scotty Too Hot, yeah. Bouncing in one.
Gotta give it to you for such a dumbass.
His tag team partner, though, Grandmaster Sexay, unfortunately, he passed away, and really, that was Jerry Lawler's son.
Yep.
So
a lot of people never knew that.
Yeah, I really hats off to Jerry Lawler for still doing his thing and being able to do what he does, because I know a lot of people that would have folded after that. I mean, I have no idea what he's going through. Good luck with it. It's all I can say.
Strange thing, back to the article, unrelated to Scotty Too Hotty. They talked about balancing means for encouraging interest while instilling values of personal responsibility and perseverance.
The Hatebreed song, Perseverance.
Nice. Well played, sir. Heather Greenwood had mentioned, for us, unschooling doesn't mean unparenting. Our kids still have responsibilities in the house. We see much of our children's learning happening through conversation, play, experiences. They read, listen to interesting podcasts, watch documentaries, and volunteer in the community.
And they're not listening to this one.
It's Joe Rogan. It's Joe's.
Joe and Jason, JJ.
So, like, one day the Matt Free Matt podcast on Jordan Peterson. Like, so what are you guys saying? You guys saying that literally you live in a bunker in Mogadishu? Like, I didn't see that when I drove up here. There's somewhere in. I was like, don't say that shit. You're gonna edit it out. You shouldn't talk to people that way, guys. It's kind of disturbing. They're like, man, come on, you were supposed to make us look good. I'm not here to make you look good. I see in my psychology practice a lot of people delusions of grandeur just like you guys. You even made up a fake story about being in Mogadishu, Somalia. Like, damn, Dr. Peterson, you really slam us? I'm not slamming you guys. I think you're deluded. And
stating fact, then.
I'm not going to use your pronouns. Like, back to her story. No, they talk about Greenwood took a winding path to unschooling. She has daughters 17 and 12. Spent time in public schools, Montessori, because I don't think it's Montessori, it's Montessori, by the way, and a public charter school that offered a hybrid homeschooling option with a state-sponsored curriculum. There's a lot of alliteration here. Because she and her husband wanted more autonomy and flexibility for their kids' learning, they began independently homeschooling while following a classical curriculum, but they found it restrictive. Now they started talking about philosophy of unschooling. And they talked about A.S. Neal. I roughly have heard about him. Summerhill. Ivan Illich, Deschooling Society. And John Holt, the educator who coined the term unschooling in the 70s. I've actually heard of him. They talked about finally embracing unschooling, when our focus was based on less on the curriculum, more centered around what the kids wanted to learn about. Everything changed.
See, I actually think that is actually got some merit to it, because really, from an early age, if you learn to follow your passion, you won't get bored with what you're doing because that's what you really want to do.
Unless you have like a 5 and 6 year old like thug, like
yeah, but still, I think that really it's a way better system than what we do now.
Hey, what you holding, young man? What you holding? Like a little kid, like, hey, what's up, B? What's up, B? You need a tenner? You want to get high? Want to have a good time? Put the money in my hand, man. Like a little 5-year-old kid. What do you want? Come on, let's get high. Come on.
Put the money in my hand. You owe me. Oh, that jungle love.
Hey, big man, go talk to him over there behind the car wash. He'll hook you up. Keep moving. Like, hey, what's up, girl? Hey, what do y'all want? Hook y'all up. Come on, girl, we're having a party. You know, like, little 5, 6, like, the cheap shot callers, like, oh yeah, kids working, man, learning the game. That's how you learn fractions. You know, hanging out with street dealers, like man, $200 or more, we'll buy another damn key. So we'll go buy some fucking rock, man. So we're gonna party, we're gonna hose, hold on yours. Come on, youngsters, let's go. Yay! Like all learn from all their cousins.
Yeah.
Let's go get paid.
Damn, son.
So we got to meet up. No, you're like, that's terrible. Little kids meeting up buying drugs?
Funny as shit.
It's unschooling. No, I'm just kidding. You're like, that's the worst stereotype I've ever heard. They talked about...
But I still think that's a good idea, and it's a better approach than what we're doing now, because really, you kind of think that you're going to, get a good job, and sort of, you end up chasing your wallet, and a lot of times foregoing what you really want to do because you don't think it's a lucrative path. And if at an early age you're implementing this, you're chasing what your likes or your dreams more than your wallet, and that's way better.
Well, they talked about like a lot of like learning, and this article keeps going, talks about they still have a lot of control, and they said that a lot of the kids use things like Khan Academy, which is like kindergarten to like freaking like masters or something in math or something. MIT Open Courseware, it's almost like every degree program, or like they have you can just like audit courses. I've seen some of those pretty dope. Lynda.com, I'm not obviously an advertiser, I'm just reading the article. Guys, I've used it, and I was actually personally fond of it. I learned a lot when I had it. They talked about most of the time it's available through public library networks. They talked about Open School in Orange County, California, and that's a unschooling type access. And there's some other ones that they mentioned that was modeled after. There's no set curriculum, testing grades. Kids 15 to 18, or 5 to 18, 15 or whatever, 5 to 18. They said they explore and they seek help from adult mentors needed. They talk about adults and children have equal input in establishing policies and procedures. It's funny because the kids, they're like, oh, kids do whatever they want, and it's not true. They talked about kids in conventional education have very little responsibility because the school does all the work, and they tell you what to learn. And self-directed education, the learners making all the decisions, so they get all the credit for their own success or failure. Thank you. That is responsibility.
Personal responsibility? Are you sure?
Or I'm going to quote a very, very famous man that I knew. And he said, "Holy jeez, I want to lick him." Like he would every day at like 2:15, 2:16, he'd run in the door and says, "Holy jeez, I want to lick him." And I never got why he did that. Just like, and he was sitting there and something.
Now, was this a bar or was this?
No, it was in school. And this
What
chick would
the-
walk through the door every day, and he would yell, "Holy jeez, I want to lick him." And like when he wasn't there, it was almost depressing.
Did she have a rack?
No, it wasn't that. It's just that she walked through the door and he just would yell this, and I never got it.
Really? Because
That's the end of our article. By
you
the way,
would think
but-
like automatically it would be, at least from a male perspective, if you want to lick them, it would be boobs. Means two, so that would be boobs in my opinion.
I just don't know what like he wanted to lick, and the thing is, it was just the exasperation that he would just declare this, like it was that necessary. Like I learned like the imperative of licking of said units or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't, it could have been like a pair of like golf balls that she like somebody carried around and like, here they are. He's over there like, I'm like, made his day,
What the?
But
Yeah.
here's the thing, it's not like he found it important, but he found it important that everybody else knew how imperative this was.
Yeah.
And he would just declare this every day that you need to lick him. I'm like, he needed to lick him. And it was that, I mean, like, and when he wasn't there was at least 2 or 3 people like, is he going to say it today?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know if he felt like it was that. There's no like metric on like how
Yeah,
important.
the lickometric.
licking.
Yeah, the lickometric. I mean, what is
You're
your,
like, you're
what is your base?
lukewarm.
Where are you starting from?
I mean, they're like polling how many thousands of people how important said licking is. And I was like, how? 1,000 people polled, and you're like 800 think it's very important that he licks these units, and just it keeps going. Like 100 people were indifferent to said licking, and there's like 50 people just didn't care at all. And you're like, man, that's overwhelming. It's overwhelming evidence that it was pretty important that these units needed to
You lick it. You lick it good.
I'm not saying he did or didn't.
Break your mama's back.
He just thought it was pretty important, Like,
Mhm.
whip it, lick it good.
No.
I just don't know if it was ever like brought across. Now she did finally catch on. I'm like, why do you always say this?
The good hard lick. Break your mama's back. Pussy and a crack.
No, but he used to say this stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know what drove him. Like, what drives you to bring this up? What drives you to like? I mean, what inspires you? I mean, was it just like some like run-in? Was she like she didn't have her shirt on or something? He was just like,
I wasn't there to see what he was referring
this
to.
is like
so I couldn't tell
philosophical,
you.
like speaking from a philosophical angle. I'm like, was this like was it like life-changing? Was this like inspirational?
Life-changing, possibly. Inspirational, definitely.
I don't even know what these units were. I don't even know like a frame of reference. There wasn't even a calibration point,
Mm-hmm. No,
But it really-
no baseline.
I know, but it must have changed his life. Like, I mean, if he actually like ended up licking these, would it like be a great letdown, or would it be like the best thing that ever happened?
Probably both at the same time.
Like, holy jeez, I want to lick him.
Because it would be the best because he actually got it, but at the same time, after it was done, he had been to the pinnacle. What do you do after that?
It's almost pure enlightenment. Like, it was like a life's goal, like he met. And he gets this enlightenment after he licks whatever said units these were. Like, holy jeez, I want to lick him. And he did. Say he did. Just metaphorically speaking. Say he reached this. Like, he could, like, forget about other goals in life. He'd probably live in, like, a Section 8 housing. Like, he never pays bills. Like, somebody repo his car, and he just walks around, and he's like, I licked him. You know, he's just like, it's the greatest thing ever. He goes and reads books at the library. Lives off of, like disability payments. He's just like, but I licked him. I'm like, I have nothing left to prove. I mean, just think, I was trying to think of, like, Conor McGregor. Then he hits, like a giant pay-per-view. Except for that's his pay-per-view is licking whatever said units these were. I don't even know what it was. Is it like the Pandora's box? I'm not supposed to know what this means?
I think so.
Like, it was kind of disturbing. I look back at it, I was like, this was like 19 freaking years ago, and we're like he probably has no memory of it now. It would be sad if he did, you know? Like, that was like his greatest letdown. He never licked said units.
I could see it.
And the thing is, the person he yelled at is somebody that, it's kind of weird. It's somebody that, obviously, I knew. I ran into him. I ran into her, and she actually got married. And I'm not saying, like, it was a letdown. It was just nice. She was actually a really nice person. I think she was there for a couple people's weddings, I knew. But I was like, I looked back at it, I said, this is wild. I was like, you're talking about metaphorical, like, questions. Like, I ought to have, like, an hour-long rant, like an audio book about, I'm going to, like, write it down. Make this audio book about,
licking them?
Like, holy jeez, I want to lick them. Like, the inner philosophy of this of the ultimate rant.
There is a book title if I ever heard one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if that kind of stuff ever happened to you. You're like stuck in these paradigms. You're like, this guy, did he finally fulfill this? Did, like, she just, like, break down and say, okay? I don't even know what these units were.
Yeah, you don't know if they were boobs or what.
Or maybe he just, like, it was from a movie and I never knew about it. Or maybe it was a screwed up reference or a joke. Because he always was telling jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he always had these crazy jokes. I was always laughing. But just to think, it was like the joke that I never got. Maybe it was like the sound of one hand clapping. Like, I'm not supposed to know this.
You never got... You know what the sound of one hand clapping sounds like, don't you?
It's like a bitch slap.
No, masturbation.
I mean... Nice. Like somebody hit you up the ear. You're like, whack. Like, you're like, that's the sound of one hand clapping. You're like, you learned the lesson. You don't ask questions like that. But serious, like holy jeez, it's just exasperation.
Mm-hmm.
I want to lick him. And he just declares that. There's not even a question like, may I lick them?
Yeah, it's just a statement of fact. I want to lick them.
Like, what's the quantifiable element to it? Is there quantifiable, like, how long would be enough?
Well,
how long would be enough of a licking? Is it just like the tip of your tongue? Is it like the Rick James, like,
Yeah.
With the amount of tongue pressure? See, that's wild. You're talking about all these variables. You're this philosophical just nightmare. I don't know how he's gonna win.
No idea either. I think it's going to be one of those things, though. It's like when you find out, it will devalue everything before. You know what I mean?
There's just questions you don't want answered.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like Jimmy Hoffa will be found the day that they find out. Holy jeez, I want to lick him. Like, what? What is them?
Holy jeez, I want to lick them. Inscribed on Jimmy Hoffa's tomb. Found in...
It's like 4000 A.D. And they're like, guys in spacesuits when they're returning back to Earth, and they're like, like, the only thing left of this civilization was like this crude inscribing,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this dead guy, it's Jimmy Hoffa, and a bunch of bones, and it'll be like, holy jeez, I want to lick them. And they're like, we have nothing to learn from this from this lost civilization. They're like
something out of Wasteland Weekend.
It's like we're like the people are like, we must find another planet. This place was inhabited by such cruel animals. And they're like, I know they're like, it's bad. I was trying to find a good stopping point, but in the end they found out there was no reason to return to Earth.
Full stop.
Thank you for catching the Free Map podcast. Many blessings to you, friends. Please feel free to tip your waitress.
Or give her just a tip. Either whatever works for you.
Thank you. See you guys.